Morning, guys. How are you doing? Yeah. So today's video is there's no such thing as a narcissist. Okay, I want to get into it because I think there's a lot of common misunderstandings about the narc, and I think a narcissist is very heavily judged. And I think someone that thinks they're a narc, they may think they're an evil person, and I'm coming to this from like a personal life experience because I think for many years I was a narc and I didn't understand it. And I got hated because of this judgment that's sort of on the internet. It's always been there, but now it's maybe more prevalent. So when you get into psychology, what is a narcissist? A narcissist is someone that's stuck on the narcissistic polar end of the two relational styles of there's two relational styles. There's a narcissistic relational style and there's a codependent relational style when it comes to connection, and it's meant to be balanced in the middle when it's healthy, but when it's healthy it lopsides to the one other side. So a narcissist is someone that has been neglected by their parents. You can even talk about codependency, because codependency is the other side of the thing. But now what happens is they locked in to hectic neglect, the one side or other side. And you know, if you want to understand, narcissistic response is no emotions. Codependency is the opposite. So if you're locked onto one or the other of either side, you are either extremely no emotions or extremely tons of emotions, and neither side is good. And there's a lot of stuff about how there's narcissists, and there's no stuff about how, oh my god, it's a codependent. It's a codependentist. I don't know. But like, so how the story goes is that, how this whole thing happens is because you had two parents that neglected you or abused you. You had at least one or two neglected you. So what happens? That creates the faulting corrects that locks you into the response. You get locked into either a narcissistic response or a codependent response, and you find people in your life that do the same thing that your parents do, and so you perpetuate this tyranny, this oppression that's in your life. And then if you're someone that you're on the non-emotional side, the narcissistic, you might think that you're evil. You might think people are going to think you're evil. They're going to judge you. You're going to think that shit. There's a lot of crap. It's a lot of bullshit. And really what you have just uneducated people thinking they are educated psychologists, or in worse, trauma psychologists, thinking they have like advanced degrees in this stuff, and they just fucking know they're like the most educated people because they watch YouTube. Like that's what's happening. And so the reality is, a narcissist is someone that's been really neglected, really abused. And so they will copy those oppressive behaviors that the parents imprinted on them, you could say. So that's kind of like what's happening. But unfortunately, you can't love everyone. Maybe it's possible if you're Bruce Lee. Maybe if you have a shit ton of energy, maybe then you can love every fucking soul in the world. And then yeah, like, you don't have to worry about boundaries and stuff. But we don't have an endless amount of energy, and the best way to love people is to have boundaries, to have values. If you're friends with everyone, that means you don't have particular values that you really cherish. and then so you're friends with everyone, and then you basically neglect everyone or abuse everyone because you can't give everyone that attention that they need. And you don't know what's going on in life because you are just so spread over with everyone. That's very hard. So I mean, that's what we're kind of talking about here. That's basically what's going on. So you gotta drop that idea that if someone is narcissistic, they're not evil. Even if they're very codependent, they're not evil. It's not their fault that they had those parents, because that's kind of like what you're saying when you say they're evil. If you are, even if you think you are evil because of that stuff, and then what's the next step to that? I guess the next step to that, I'm trying to think now what I was going to say, is that unfortunately, if someone is abusive, you can't be friends with abuse. So, like, the only way you can deal with the situation is if they have the same values as you. And if they have the same values, then there's boundaries. Then you can love the person. Then you can give them all that attention that they need. And it's safe for you to do that stuff. That's a fair compromise. And that's a whole different can of stuff right there. Fair compromise. But yeah, that's how it is. And you're not responsible for looking after every fucking soul in the world. Raising everyone. Like, everyone is kind of neglected. And, who knows what the future holds. Maybe, I don't know. But I just want to share that. And when you understand that, you can push your values, increase your boundaries, and get to a point where you basically have no narcissists in your life, in a world that is full of narcissists. Let's say you can get to a point where there's no abuse, no neglect in your life. And when that happens, you're basically in love. You're in love. That's called love. Living in love. That's being in heaven. That's paradise. And it doesn't matter how bad shit can be, and you'll be great because your boundaries are fucking awesome. So yeah, even there's some other things I want to go into, but that's basically what I wanted to say. There's no such thing as a narcissist. As in, there's really no evil people. No one's evil. There is not one evil fucking soul in the world. There's just people. Anyways, more videos coming soon on some other stuff. Hope you have an awesome one. Check you around.